Hello YouTube! I'm going to do a Fishroom tour update, and I haven't done a video for a few weeks, well, a bit over a month or so, and I've got some plans and some fish I want to move around. So we're starting here with the female dove eye and the male red devil tank. So there's going to be no changes to this tank because I'm really happy with this tank, as I've said before on my previous videos. These fish get on absolutely brilliantly, which I'm, like I say, I'm really happy with. The male's doing good, the female's doing good. If he ever gets too excited, she goes in that big pipe. So it's all hunky-dory. So there'll be no changes to this tank. But I do have some plans for changes. There she comes. She just come out at the end of that pipe. She's got some gorgeous colours. Look at the blues, golds and greens on her. She's lovely. And this is Botox. Call him Botox the Maniac. It's just the same, no changes. He's about 13 to 14 inches. Beautiful fish. Anyway, we'll move along and we'll show you what's. I'll try to explain me fish what I need to move as we go round. Well, this is Bomber me bean eye, and my plan for him. I've got a bigger tank planned for him and her. If anybody watched my early videos about breeding aggressive cichlids with the hole in the divider method, there's a divider with the holes in it. Well, these have had one spawn in, but it didn't. They didn't hatch out, and now it looks like they're ready for another one. But look at the state of him. Look at his fins. He's all ragged, and she's all ragged. But this is part of breeding aggressive cichlids. But she seems to be spending more time in his half of the tank, and I'm sure they're getting ready for another spawning. A bit of showing off going there. But when it does get too rough, she does retreat through there. But this tank is nowhere near big enough for them, really. So these are going to be moved into JCB's tank. And JCB is going to be upgraded into another tank. So we'll turn round and we'll have a look at JCB. So this is a pairing, a video what I did earlier about pairing aggressive cichlids. So we'll turn round and we'll have a look at JCB. So here's JCB and his female. Glary. Yeah, there's JCB and his female. So this pairing has gone quite well. I had these divided. If people watch the videos, they'll know. If I had these divided for a month or so, then I'm going to remove the divider. They're getting on really, really well. He's got a bit of frayed fins on his tail, but she's lost all the black. She's not in spawning mode. But the females do look better in spawning mode. In spawning dress. I'm sure it's like spawning mode. Spawning dress. But these are going into a lot bigger tank. One of the tanks in my lounge, what I call my dumping tank, where I dump everything. Well, I'm fed up with that tank now. I need to get rid of loads of smaller fish to make room for the bigger fish. I've got to the stage where I think less is more. The less you have, the better, the bigger and better your fish grow. So it finishes up being more, if you know what I'm saying. Less is more. Less fish, better quality fish. So this is JCB and his partner. All right, JCB. He's doing fine. Yeah, so the plan is to get these two into a bigger tank, and then move the bean eye into this tank. But while we're here, we'll just have a look at the chancho, because the chancho's right next to these. So there he is. Here's Tank the Chancho. He's getting a right big old chunky old lump of a fish. Ain't you, mate? Just move his magnet about. Yeah, so I don't think Chanchos are everybody's cup of tea, but I like him. Because he's I don't know, I just like him. He's big, but they don't have colours like some of the other big fish. For example, Trimax and that, which have beautiful colorations. But beauty is in the eye of the beholder, don't they say? Or words to that effect. Anyway, no change for him. He's living happily here. Next to JCB, the only thing I have done, I've had to hang a towel between the two tanks because they end up fighting against the glass. Anyway, we'll move around and have a look at something else, and I'll try to explain the changes as we go along. I'll be back. So now at the Jaguar tank, there's Beryl. Beryl's the male, 12-inch male, and the female. Well, the female wasn't eating too well, but she's actually come round now. She's eating more than the male. She's a right greedy pig. And there's going to be no change to this tank. They're doing really, really well. Look at him. I love him. I just love this fish. He flares his gills up at you and jumps out. When you put your hand in the tank, he tries to jump out and bite you. He's getting super aggressive. Ain't you, Beryl? Yeah, he's 12 inches and doing fine. So there's no need for any changes in this tank as of yet. But you never know what's around the corner. He'll probably need an upgrade one of these days. Look, he don't. Look, oh, that, you can hear him biting against the glass. He ain't got no fry in there or anything, but he's very aggressive. As soon as you put the hose in there to do water changes or anything, he's on it, biting the siphon pipe. But I really love these. Some people will probably say, well, it's just a common old jag like, but I love them. They're probably common for that reason, because they've got such good character, aggressive, interactive, greedy. Look at his purpley colours. You see the Jaguar pattern on his cheeks, all them spots. That's where they get the name of Jaguar from. And the colour difference to the females. She has not got the dark Jaguar coloration. Anyway, we'll move on. There's going to be no change here. We'll move on and we'll have a look at another tank. Well, I'm outside in my little fish room now. This is my Feste pair. I'm not 100% happy with the way things have gone in this tank. I had loads and loads and loads of fry in this tank. There's still quite a few left. But people what watched my previous videos, there you can see some fry. There was a young dovey in here, and he keeps coming out and picking off these fry, and basically it stressed this male something wicked. He's all the time trying to go in the bog wood and the pipes. The dovey hides in there. He's all the time trying to go in there to catch this little dovey, but he can't catch it. And I think it's actually stressing him. His parental instinct is to kill anything or chase it off what wants to eat his fry, and it's stressing the hell out of him because he's not eaten. I've not seen him eat pellets. He'll eat an earthworm, but I've not seen him eat pellets for I bet about 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm not really happy with the way this tank's going. So there's few fry left in here. I would never use dovey fry as feeders ever. A lot of my tanks have got little doveys in, what, just escapees. So this tank's not looking good. The female's hiding. Where's she? There's Rosie and Jim. There's Rosie, there's Jim. A few fry left. But they seem stressy. They do seem stressy. Anyway, we'll get this sorted. I'll try to catch the fry. I might have to strip the tank down, but I'll never put Dovi in this tank again. Anyway, let's move on and film. There's Rosie. Come on, Rosie, show your face. People want to see you. You got beautiful babies. We can't help if we've got a Dovi in here what keeps eating them. Anyway, we'll move on and look at another fish. Right, in my dumping tank. The dumping tank was meant to be my carpenter's tank. And what I decided to do, I've took this one out. It's a nice male, and to see how it go. And it is thriving. It is thriving. I'll show you the ones in my dumping tank, which I'm going to clear out for JCB. The ones in the dumping tank look nowhere near as good as this one. They've got chunks missing off the fins, all the fighting and scrapping and that. So I just want to grow a specimen carpenters. People call them Texas, but it's not a Texas. I've had Texas, I've had carpenters, but the Texas is completely different to the carpenters. So most of these in the hobby nowadays are like My Devils, cross between Red Devils, Midas. The same's happened with the Texas. Most Texas in the hobby are cross between Texas and carpenters. Anyway, I absolutely love this fish. It's so beautiful and blue. But I've got about 4 or 5 of these. I'm gonna like segregate them and put them in tanks to grow out. Because I chucked them all in a dumping tank, and I'm really regretting it now. I wish I paid them, give them more attention and give them a tank what they deserve. So he's alone in this. He's only in a 4-foot tank, and I've got some of this. I call it Devil's Ivy. I think what do they call it, pothos or something. All the roots are going there to take the nitrates out and that. But I'm going to look after him. And the tank in the house what the bean eye are in, I'm having another male Texas. I'm calling it Texas now. Another carpenter's in there. Anyway, I'm waffling on too much, so I'm going to have to cut this short. It's going on too long. We'll move on to something else. I'll be back. No change in this tank. Mr. and Mrs. Wolfie, they're all the same. They've had loads of batches of fry. Every time they have batches of fry, I'm all the time trying to get them out. Because like this last week, she's been in this great big pot. This is a massive pot. That pot's about 2 foot long. Anyway, she went in there and she never come out for over a week. And then she's came out and with another batch of fry. But this time, it's a very small batch of fry, which is good. Because I don't want all these bloody fry. They're a nuisance, to be honest. I'd rather have them with no fry. Like on my previous videos, when the fry get big and start feeding off the mucus coat of the parents. Anyway, that's Mr. and Mrs. Wolfie. This is a 250 gallon tank with 2 FX5 filters. People always say to me, why don't you talk about how many gallons you got and how many your filtration and that. I don't really talk about that sort of thing much because there's a lot of controversy, arguments. People will say I'm keeping these fish in a far too small tank, which I probably am. I'd like to upgrade them one day, hopefully. Anyway, that's Mr. and Mrs. Wolfie. I'm not putting my hand in. Especially now they've got fry in it. Have you seen that one when I put my hand in the tank? Bloody thing bit me. Didn't you, Wolfie, mate? You're not going to bite me today because I'm not even going to put my hand in. Anyway, let's have a look at let's have a look at the flour horn. Well, this is stroppy, my flour horn. Like I've said millions and millions of times before, he's not a really high grade flour horn, but he's got a lovely body shape and that. And I'm quite proud of him, really, because he's had a couple of health issues, but every time he's had a health issue, that's a tongue twister, isn't it? Health issue. Every time he's had a health issue, I've always managed to pull him through. He's had the right white stringy poo. He's had a pop eye, and he's had a split in his head and all this sort of thing, like. But I've always managed to bring him through, and now I've come to the conclusion: do not feed him. Don't feed him treats. Flour horns have got dodgy bellies. Don't feed them treats. Just feed them decent quality pellet. And I've just seen that. Can you see that? Now that is a quality poo. Oh, anybody be proud to poo a poo like that, wouldn't it? That's a quality poo. If you're a flour horn keeper, that's what you want. A lovely poo. So don't bother with all the don't dig 'em tilapia meat. The only treat I'll ever give this stroppy is an earthworm. Because, I don't know what, he just loves earthworms and they digest through him really, really well. If you give tilapia meat, prawns, mussels and all that stuff, you just get the white poo and that. They can't take it. Don't give them it. Don't give them it at all. Just stick with pellets. And the odd earthworm. Anyway, I'll give him, see if he'll let me stroke his big noggin, or his cock, what they say. I'm trying to do this one-handed. There he goes, look. They're right strops, mate. He's going to try to bite me now, but you're not going to get it, mate. Anyway, we've had enough of stroppy. I'll show you my dumping tank. It's a lovely fish, this is. He's getting right big as well. He's over 12 inches and he's a right big chunky fish. Really heavy. You can see the trimac in him. Anyway, let's move on. All I've got left to do is to show you my dumping tank. And we haven't looked at Crazy Joe, have we? We need to see Crazy Joe. Right now we're at Crazy Joe's tank. He's my large male umbi. Believe it or not, he's like 21, must be like 21, 22 inch now. But he's not showing up on the video very well. He's a lot bigger in real life than on a video. There's little Miss Molly. All right, little Miss Molly, look at her. She looks in a better nick than Crazy Joe, doesn't she? Look at her colours. She's a beauty, isn't she? There's Crazy Joe. Anyway, we've got to get this video going quick. I'll just give him a mussel, bit of food. Let's see how big his gob is. Anyway, that's there we go, sucking it up. It's got a big gob like a Dyson Hoover. Crazy Joe. We'll have a look at my dumping tank now, the one that I'm going to clear out for JCB. I'll just turn around and we'll have a look. Yeah, so this is the what I call my dumping tank, or my embarrassment tank, where I just chuck all the fish in. the fry what I've not been able to get rid of, or the fry what grow too big and you can't move on. But I'm disappointed in myself in this one, because there's some lovely Rio Hondo carpenters in here. Anyway, all these little ones are going. I've got homes for most of them, and then I'm going to pick my selective. And that one looks a nice one. I think that's a nice big male. There's another nice one. There's some nice ones in here, but they've got ragged fins. Let's look at that one. Look at the tail, and they're all ragged because this is full of just fish what I don't need. That's a trimac. Is that another trimac? We got trimacs, festes, all sorts in here. A very, very embarrassing tank. And with the Oscar, I don't know what to do with the Oscar. I quite like the Oscar, but have I got space for it? So I've got a big clear out, and I've got a home for most of these. And I'm going to change the aquascape, and the Hyensis are going in here, because this is like a, well, it's 6.5 feet, 2 foot front to back, 2.5 feet high, 4 foot sump. So it's a lovely big tank, which will do the Hyensis really well. But that's a lovely, lovely Oscar, isn't it? I want to keep you, mate. What are we going to? Where can I put you? I need more tanks. I've got loads of tanks, but I need more tanks. And there's some of the carpenters. I want to put these in solitary. That's a good one. That one's going where Bomb of the Bean-Eye's tank. He's going in there. He's going to be a solitary male, and I shall keep him as a solitary male. So that's a trimac. Anyway, you don't want to see this tank. I need to sort this tank out, really. Well, I am doing anyway. So the next time I do a video, I'll show you what's been going on. Thank you from all my subscribers, and thank you for watching. Hope it hasn't been too long and boring for you all. Thank you.